Context-aware suggestions help speed up coding by reducing the amount of boilerplate code developers need to write manually. GitHub Copilot is powered by OpenAI's Codex, a descendant of the GPT-3 model, specifically trained for programming tasks. Neural network utilizes a transformer-based neural network that processes context and generates code suggestions based on patterns learned from vast amounts of code. Context window. The model can consider a certain number of tokens, words, symbols, in its context window, allowing it to generate relevant suggestions based on the preceding code and comments. Training data. Publicly available code. Trained on a diverse dataset that includes publicly available source code from GitHub repositories, programming documentation, and other coding resources. Multi-language exposure. Exposure to various programming languages and frameworks helps it generate suggestions across different coding environments. Continuous learning. While it doesn't learn from individual user interactions for privacy reasons, feedback from users collectively helps improve the model over time. Practical applications. Web development. Assists in generating HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code snippets for web applications. Data science. Provides suggestions for data manipulation, analysis, and visualization in languages like Python and R. API integration. Helps with writing API calls, handling responses, and managing data formats like JSON. Testing and debugging. Can suggest unit tests and debugging strategies based on existing code. Learning new technologies. Aids developers in exploring new libraries or frameworks by providing usage examples and best practices. User experiences. Positive feedback. Many developers report increased productivity and a smoother coding experience, especially during initial development phases. Learning curve. Some users find that it takes time to adapt to the tool, learning how to write effective comments and utilize suggestions. Mixed results. Users often share experiences of both excellent suggestions and frustrating inaccuracies, highlighting the need for careful review. Comparisons with other tools. Tab 9. Another AI-powered code completion tool that supports multiple languages and IDEs. While Tab 9 is also based on AI, it may not have the same breadth of context understanding as Copilot. Kite provides code completions and documentation, but is less integrated into the development process compared to Copilot. Kite focuses more on providing documentation alongside code suggestions. IntelliCode, Microsoft's tool for Visual Studio that offers AI-assisted code completions. It primarily focuses on C#, Java, and JavaScript and leverages machine learning models trained on Microsoft's own codebases. Future of GitHub Copilot. Enhanced context understanding. Future updates may focus on improving context awareness, allowing Copilot to understand more complex project structures and requirements. Broader language support. Expansion to support more programming languages and frameworks, making it a versatile tool for all developers. Integration with CI/CD. Potential integration with continuous integration and deployment pipelines to assist in automated testing and deployment scripts. Community feedback mechanisms. Implementing better feedback mechanisms to learn from user interactions and improve the model's accuracy. Learning tool. Acts as a learning aid for new developers by providing examples of how to use specific functions or libraries. Supports pair programming. Functions like a virtual pair programmer, offering suggestions and alternative approaches to coding challenges. Code consistency. Encourages consistent coding styles by suggesting similar patterns and structures throughout the codebase. Rapid prototyping. Facilitates quick prototyping by generating code snippets that can be tested and iterated upon. Limitations of GitHub Copilot. Inaccurate suggestions. Sometimes generates incorrect or suboptimal code, requiring developers to review and modify the suggestions. Security concerns. May inadvertently suggest insecure code patterns or deprecated methods, so vigilance is necessary. Context understanding. Limited understanding of complex business logic or project-specific requirements, which can lead to irrelevant suggestions. License and attribution issues. Potential concerns regarding the licensing of suggested code, especially if it closely resembles copyrighted material. Dependency on internet. Requires an active internet connection to function since it relies on cloud-based AI models. Tips for effective use. Clear comments. Write clear and concise comments to guide Copilot in generating relevant code. Review suggestions. Always review and test the suggestions before integrating them into your codebase. Combine with other tools. Use alongside other development tools, like linters and static analyzers, to ensure code quality and security. Iterative development. Use Copilot during iterative development phases, such as prototyping and brainstorming, rather than final production code. Feedback loop. Provide feedback on suggestions to improve future interactions and help refine the model. Getting started. If you're interested in trying GitHub Copilot, here's how to get started. Sign up. Create a GitHub account if you don't have one. Subscribe. GitHub Copilot is a paid service, so you'll need to subscribe. Install the extension. Install the GitHub Copilot extension for your preferred IDE. Start coding, open a project, and begin coding to see suggestions in action. Provides real-time code suggestions based on the current file and the code you're writing. Multi-language support. Works with a variety of programming languages, including Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, Ruby, Go, and more. Learning from context. Learns from comments and code to generate relevant suggestions, which can include entire functions or classes. Integration with IDEs. Integrates seamlessly with popular IDEs like Visual Studio Code, JetBrains IDEs, and more. Code snippets and documentation. Can suggest code snippets and even provide documentation references for libraries and frameworks. How to use GitHub Copilot. Installation. Install the GitHub Copilot plugin in your IDE. Activation. Start typing code or comments, and suggestions will appear automatically. Accepting suggestions. You can accept suggestions by pressing Tab or Enter.